Hello, the PSN community, and welcome to today's Featured Friday. Today, we are joined by the fabulous Justine Palin, the founder and CEO of the VA Property Company. Welcome, Justine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thanks, Asif, and thanks very much for the invite. And hello, audience.
Really hello, pleased. Audience, indeed. So, would you like to tell the audience what is it that you do?
Cool. So, I'm a property investor myself. Have been doing that, I'd like to say, for a few years, but quite some time, about 20 odd years, which is great. But my business, the VA Property Company, is basically we're like a matchmaker. We matchmake small, busy property entrepreneurs and businesses with amazing virtual assistants, primarily based in the Philippines. We matchmake them together, and hopefully that frees up clients' time, create efficiencies in the businesses, and it's probably a bit more of a passion of mine at the moment in terms of a business.
Amazing. So how did you actually get into it?
Oh man. So cut a long story short if I can, because I do like to talk and I don't want to be over chatty. I did the PIN Mastermind program in 2020, and basically wanted to do that. Although I've been in property since I was like 25, I knew I made a lot of mistakes, so I wanted to actually invest in my education and not repeat those mistakes. So when I did the Mastermind program, I was also doing management consultancy. And when you join Mastermind, they're big advocates. Like Simon Zucci's a big advocate for getting a virtual assistant. And because I was so busy doing my management consultancy, I actually went and got a VA. First VA is called Claire, been with me now for over 3 years, brilliant. And I tried like Fiverr and the other things in terms of getting VA support, but I found that I was actually redoing the work they were doing. So I wanted to get my own virtual assistant and help me, support me in my mastermind course, really, and finding opportunities, doing my social media, lead generation, while I was heavily involved in the management consultancy work. And basically what happened is I got pulled into supporting the rollout of the COVID vaccine programme across Greater Manchester, pre-vaccines, to help with set up logistics. And I found that I had this VA trained in all manners of different strategies, like rent to rent, finding HMOs, looking at options, those sorts of things. But I didn't have any time to use her because I was so busy with my other work. So what happened is I then outsourced her to somebody off my course, and I said, right, you can borrow her, but you can't keep her. And so it's like a short-term loan, a bit like a library book, like you can borrow her, but I need her back. And then on the basis of that, his feedback was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing, and she's been trained so well, and literally I can start from day one. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need to spend a lot of my time in training it because I don't have any time to train Claire. So as a creative person, the idea, light bulb moment went off, and I was like, oh, I think there's a gap in the market here for having a different type of VA offering. So then I went out to build up a small but growing agency. And although my business model has changed a little bit, that was the origins a good couple of years ago now. So that's how I got started.
Wow, some story. But what would you say your biggest win has been so far?
On the theme of that, then, I think my biggest win has been taking the seed of an idea, because it was just like an idea, and actually having that as a business then and seeing that grow. Personally, it's been a huge achievement, because sometimes when you start out in business, you think, oh, would anybody really want what I'm doing? Would they like it? So that was really, really cool. And I'm probably now going on to, I've grown a team of over 12 virtual assistants. We've got an amazing range of different clients, tend to be in property, and we're getting more non-property clients then as well. So I think it's been that seed of an idea and growing that over the last couple of years. And then also, I'm really proud of I was featured in Your Property Network magazine this month.
Yes, you were.
So I was very pleased with that. Yeah, and then, you know, when you sit back and you look at your journey you've been on, so I came out of Mastermind with a VA business as opposed to a really big property portfolio, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, and then I've morphed my business. I've grown my business over the last couple of years, so it's much more of like an ecosystem of support and a bit of consultancy. So I'm factoring a bit more of me into the business now. We help businesses systemize and automate, and then we wrap around a great team or an individual VA to help clients run their systems. So I'm probably really pleased with that's been my biggest win. So not one, but just a combination of my little baby steps on the way.
That's amazing. And you've obviously been on some sort of journey as well. What would you say your biggest learning has been so far?
Poor. I think in terms of my own personal development, I came from the NHS, so an NHS background. Although I went in as a consultant and got management consultant contracts, it's a different culture, different public sector working, and then actually being in the private sector. So learning about business has been my own personal development and actually how to do business and me morphing into the business and the type of business that I've wanted it to be. So that's my own personal journey of being a business owner and like having a startup really. And then I'd say also it's been my biggest learning is insights with working with virtual teams. Like we've probably all got better at working remotely. Like look at you and I at home now, which is cool. A few years ago we wouldn't have done this. So pre-COVID.
No, we wouldn't.
So we've all morphed to that, but then actually taking it to the next level of having a team that's overseas in a different time zone. We're working with people from different cultures and all the different nuances of that. That's been a big learning for me, and that's the sort of thing that I like to help my clients with when they're embarking on their journey of working with VAs.
Amazing. So you're obviously very ambitious as well. What would you say your plans are for the future?
World domination. No.
Yes.
No, not at all. I want to really ensure my business is systemized, fully and automated, and growing it. I like to add on new different products and things that we're doing. You know, we've got ChatGPT as an example. You can't stand still with business, so you've always got to be learning. So I personally like that journey of like, actually, how do we improve our service offerings? But then growing the business. And as I said, we've got increasingly more non-property clients, which is great. So it's actually growing the business for property specific and then non-property. And like property specific, a lot of our clients, deal sources, investors wanted to own their own portfolio, want help with lead generation. We're working with an architect, landscape gardeners, construction company, so and letting agents. So it's a huge gamut really. So yeah, that's the plan for things.
And what about in property itself? What's your plan?
Property itself, yes, grow my own portfolio. I've had a few twists and turns in life over the last few years, as you do. And even though my lofty ambitions when I was probably about 19, 20 for having a big portfolio, they're still there. I've just gone like this on my detour. So now it's to get back into building my portfolio, get into much more of the creative strategies, especially given the time that we're in at the moment. So lease options, title splits, doing that side of things, but just keeping it really simple and straightforward. So that's my plan.
Sounds like an amazing plan. I'm sure you're going to get there. And finally, if you could go back to being 16 years old, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh, that's a really good question. So, yeah, I'd say from a career perspective, because you can go into all of the aspects for young girls, but like having that confidence about who they are and all of that. But I'm just going to park that for the moment. But in terms of career, I'd say at that age, you're very vulnerable, you're guided a lot by your parents, you're guided a lot by your careers advisor at school, and they might send you down a traditional route. I'd say no, don't have that traditional route. It's okay always to have a career to fall back on, but be creative. Really, really, the sky's the limit. You know, just be thinking about where you want to get to, and start then seeing your future self. Really visualize who you're going to be, what your future life's looking like, and then start doing something about it. So start educating yourself. Get onto YouTube. Don't be following all the influencers. Get some real proper education. You know, if you're wanting to get into like growing businesses, I'd say like start buying businesses, but go and find out who's actually doing putting some great content out there. It's free content, as we know. I'd say spend your time doing that sort of thing as opposed to spending time, you know, not with your friends, of course, but it's give equal balance to your life then. I'd say about doing that. I'm really into personal development. Get some travel behind you, you know, really expand your mindset. Get into property early. My head was turned when I was 19, so like a few years after being 16, obviously. My landlady at uni, she was a GP, but she had like about 15 properties. I'm like, I'm going to be her one of these days. I'm going to be her. And she was my biggest influence, but also she was female. So I didn't know her, but she's probably my first, who do I want to be when I'm older? So it's have somebody, you know, get some inspiration from, you know, other people who, some greatness, like, and then invest in yourself. Like, I'm very interested in, you know, supporting. So my own kids, my son's 21, my daughter's 18. I got my son into property, like help me on Nimbus, do some searches, you know, and then understand about the buildings, what we're looking for, commercially, what's going to work. And, you know, even then, it's just about influencing, teaching, encouraging him. And now he's off on his own path, wanting to get into property. So I just think at age 16, the sky's the limit. Don't put any boundaries on yourself and have faith and confidence that you can do it, and belief, really.
That's some amazing advice. No, I completely agree. I think at the moment, the education system is quite outdated. There's a lot of things that the schools don't exactly teach at the moment. And you're right, there's a lot of information that is out there for this younger generation. You've got YouTube, you've got TikTok, for example, you've got books, you've got podcasts. And I feel, yeah, they're in a very lucky position at the moment. And I think if they take your advice, they'll do very well.
Yeah, completely. No, it's all good. So yes.
So we've also got one of the things that we like to do is get to know our community members a little bit better. And I'm going to play a little bit of a game with you, and it's called This or That. So, for example, it might be, I'll give you two options. Option one might be apple. Option two might be banana. And you just have to quickly say which one you prefer. So the first one should be easy. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Had to think about that one.
Only because I don't do Instagram.
Oh, God.
Only because I don't do it. I do it through work, but I don't know how to do it personally.
That's okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs, definitely.
Yeah,
and
cats. You've got an amazing, cute dog as well, haven't you?
Oh, Ralph, you just met him before. He's adorable, but he's out the house now in case he barks.
Gone for walkies, you see.
Walkies, yeah.
McDonald's or KFC?
McDonald's. Mac plant burgers and veggie. Mac plants are lovely, really nice.
And would you rather be the smartest person in the world or the richest person in the world?
I'd say the smartest, because then if you're really smart, you can make money anyway.
I agree. And I've said this one before as well. If you are the smartest person in the world, then you can make money, but you can be outside of the spotlight as well. If you're the richest person in the world, you're always in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So good life, well, work-life balance there as well.
Completely.
So thank you for your time, Justine. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I'm new to your community, so I'm really looking forward to being a part of it and part of the growth of the community as well. So no, I've really enjoyed our chat. Thank you so much. That's really good.
No, I appreciate you having you here as well today. But PSN community, I hope you've enjoyed today's Featured Friday. Do connect with Justine, as she has an amazing business and she's given some amazing advice today as well. But for now, keep being amazing and we'll see you very soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.